It's my honor to speak in front of you at the Geneva Summit. This is a picture of my family. It was taken just after my release from the Yodok prison camp. The second from the right is my sister. She was taken back to the camp because she contacted me in South Korea. And I filed a case of protest at the UN Commission of Inquiry. This is the picture of the prison camp number 16, located in Hamgyong, South Hamgyong province. From number 1 to number 12 are the villages inside the camp. When I was imprisoned in the camp, I was between from number 1 and number 11. And there was a revolutionizing zone in the camp. In the revolutionizing zone, prisoners with certain terms are imprisoned. And Shin Dong-hyuk was imprisoned in a total control zone where prisoners should serve their terms until they die. But I was imprisoned in a revolutionizing zone, so I had a hope of being released after a certain time. At the right side, once you get inside, you cannot come out of there until you die. I was imprisoned in Yodok prison camp when I was 9 years old, and I stayed there until 19 years old. And for 10 years, I buried about 300 bodies of political prisoners inside the camp. There are frequent public executions and secret prison camps. There are many people dying because of hunger, because of hard labor. It's very routine happenings. After I defected to South Korea, I read about Hitler's concentration camp and Russia's Siberian camps. I watched the movies about those camps. As far as I experienced, North Korean political prison camps have some similarities with those in Nazi regime. In the past, the Soviet Union and its Communist Party did not purge its rivals completely, but Hitler had a concentration camp to purge his rivals. This is the map of political prison camps still in operation today. Shin is from Gaechon prison camp number 14, and there is Bukchang prison camp and Yodok prison camp where I was imprisoned. And this is a camp near the nuclear test site. As far as I know, the construction of nuclear testing site was done by prisoners of Hwasong political prison camp. So to carry out nuclear test, they constructed a massive testing site. And it was only possible because of hundred thousands of political prisoners. Currently, North Korea has 6 political prison camps, and they detain about 200,000 political prisoners. This is the map of key political prisons and other detention facilities. This is a picture of other detention facilities. In North Korea, there is police holding camp in each province. And in each county, they have labor training camps. So when we mark every detention facility existing in North Korea, there is no place we cannot find any detention facility. So the whole country is a big prison. So people's rights, human rights, and basic freedom are not guaranteed at all. The North Korean regime is different in that they recently carried out a feudal succession of power because it's an isolated country. It has northern border with China, and on the southern front, they have their key enemy, South Korea. That's why they could maintain a total control over North Korea and their territory. Plus, the Kim family is praised almost as a god. So now the statues like these, there are 38,000 of them. No dictator ever made as many statues as the Kim family. It's been 60 years since the communist Kim family took power, and recently, after the death of Kim Jong-il, the second leader, his youngest son, succeeded. There is a difference in the new leadership. Kim Jong-il's leadership had a concentrated power, which was totally controlled by Kim Jong-il himself. But Kim Jong-un did not have a long period of power succession, so he does not have a complete control of the regime. On the surface, the power seems to be concentrated on the new leader Kim Jong-un, but actually there is his uncle Chang Song-taek and Choi Ryong-hae, his close ally, his aunt Kim. So power is distributed among a few leaders. In the past, North Korea wanted to develop nuclear weapons and wanted to have missiles just in case America invades North Korean territory. But now, the North Korean leadership does not believe there will be any attack from the outside world. So they pursue this program for internal reasons, to consolidate their power. And there is a great change these days through defectors. So now it is harder for the regime to control the society. So they are making every effort to maintain the control. This is the picture of the region where nuclear test was carried out recently, and they digged a big cave. So it's a great construction work. So they had to mobilize a great number of political prisoners. The reason for why North Korea maintained a long dictatorship was because the international community was indifferent to the grave situation of the political prison camps and other human rights situation in North Korea. In the 1990s, there has been a heavy casualty because of starvation during the arduous March period. In case of Germany, Western German government could maintain consistent policy for the sake of Eastern German fellows and their human rights. But South Korean government has changed its policy very frequently. And food support from the government was not distributed among North Korean civilians, but was channeled into the leadership and the army. So if they stopped their food aid at that time, I think the leadership would have collapsed already. I think this is the ending stage of the North Korean dictatorship. So when we put pressure on the North Korean regime, financial and economic measures are not very effective. What the North Korean regime is afraid of most is that there are many North Korean defectors going to China, and the Chinese government is doing forcible repatriation of North Korean defectors to North Korea. So there has been no sign of change because anyone could be punished or secretly killed if they object to the regime. So North Korea is dispatching a huge number of laborers to overseas countries, to Middle East, to Africa, to Russia. But the regime do not provide any salaries to the laborers. And they take advantage of those salaries and maintain the government. So to stop this, we are trying to cooperate on this issue with ILO. Other than that, there should be more inflow of information so that people can realize their actual conditions. So the international community should take new types of measures to diffuse and external information. I think that is the best, most effective measure. Thank you.